being outlost. I just got a great thumbnail idea.
Oh no! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Nick, I'm sorry for laughing. I'm sorry.
I'm just a thumbnail guy. I don't.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Pixel Bunny, and today I have Zach Gibbs with me. Say hello. Shredder.
Hello.
So, Zach here is one of my best friends, and we today are going to be doing something really fun. Today. Today we're gonna be doing something really fun, and we're gonna be reading Reddit scary stories. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That came up with the idea totally, 100%. All me.
If I could right now, I can't move over there. I would beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wow, okay, so you're very nice today. No, but seriously, guys, Zach, tell a little bit about yourself. Tell the people about yourself.
I'm the thumbnail guy. I make thumbnail.
He also
occasional YouTube video.
Yeah, he has a YouTube.
Mainly thumbnail though.
Zach Games Real. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you?
I zoned out for a moment. Dude. I swear.
Bro's just out of it. I hope you know that Glassy is editing this. He's gonna have so much fun with this.
Oh
yeah. So yes, we're gonna be reading scary Reddit stories, and I'm super excited. I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded in so long. I've been really busy trying to get back into the flow of things after my surgery, and don't worry guys, my surgery is doing amazing. I am recovering awesome. So yeah, I haven't updated in a minute, so yeah, I just thought I'd update as well while we're already here. Today we both picked 2 stories, and I heard that one of them is really scary. You say that you picked really messed up. Why do you look so suspicious, like you're about to steal? You are a fox, brother.
Just in my nature.
I already said that. What else do I have to say for my intro? It's been a minute.
Words. More words.
Yes, more words. Glassy's probably like, you're forgetting this! You're forgetting so much! I know, it's okay. I'm sorry. But we will be having the links of all these stories in my description. So yes, go show these stories some love to the original creators, and also check out these communities over on Reddit because they're actually really fun, and there's a lot of different stories and a lot of people that have really big talent.
I had a really tough time just choosing like 2 stories.
I limited us to 2, and
it was terrible.
I just randomly scrolled, and I stopped scrolling. I did that thing like in those trends for like, I don't know, Goodwill, where you like go and then stop with the clothing. That was me, but with Reddit stories. I just scrolled and then stopped and clicked a random one on 2 different Reddits. I'm not a Reddit user, by the way. I had to ask how to sort things to bro.
I am a little bit. Mainly for the stories, you know. Actually, just for
he doesn't wear a fedora. I promise, guys.
No. God, no. I'm not a Reddit mod.
All right, guys, who wants to go first?
Well, you have a short one, so
I do have a short one. Okay, we'll start with my first one. Okay. So mine is from r/scary stories, and it's from Trash Tia, and it's called "My Husband Won't Stop Hugging Me."
what a monster.
I know. Like, God, how dare you hug me? Anyway,
Love and affection? That's my worst nightmare. God.
The trauma response at this point. There's just too much of it. God. Anyway, I'm really nervous. I haven't made a YouTube video. I'm so sorry, Glassy, that you have to like edit this. It's been a minute, but I know you've been begging me to record something because you want something to edit. So here you go. But yes, this is Zach, by the way. This is the guy I keep telling you about. This is the guy that you watch those Batman. Yeah, I'm talking to you from the past. How does that make you feel? Anyway.
Why am I looking to the right? Always. I'm not even doing that.
Oh, do you have your model mirrored?
No. Oh, fixed it, I guess. Shifted my glasses a little.
Okay. So yes, my husband won't stop hugging me. Cue the scary music. This first slide's hilarious. I think blunt force trauma to the head has cured my husband's OCD. Hot takes. The subreddit's what that should be on. Seb had always been weird about touch. He never held my hand, and when we kissed, he'd pull out an antibacterial wipe. We never did the deed. Every time we tried, Seb would break down, saying physical contact with me hurt him. Eventually, he opened up about his first relationship in 8th grade with a girl who didn't respect his boundaries. Over time, I got used to it. Seb was worth it. He was awkward in a way that made me fall for him. Seb started
strong.
Holy
YouTube.
That's like a tongue twister for me, dog. Seb started therapy, and slowly, because things don't just change overnight, he began tangling his fingers with mine, even if only for a few seconds. We came up with an alternative for touching, blowing kisses at each other, which kept us closer. There was an out-of-state clinic that specialized in obsessive-compulsive disorder. Seb was driving, and I was trying and failing to direct via Google Maps. The next thing I knew, we were being run off the road by an eight-wheeler. Which, that's terrifying.
An 18?
An 8-wheeler.
Okay.
You're like, I don't... I remember blood. I remember screaming, half conscious. Seb wasn't moving, his head lodged against the steering wheel. I woke up in a brightly lit room. Flowers bloomed next to me. A hospital.
Oh.
Seb? I croaked, trying to wrench out my IV.
I do.
Why'd you pull out Batman at the brightly lit room? That's his least favorite place to go.
I don't know. I was searching something, man.
Okay. Seb, I croaked, trying to wrench out my IV. Where's my husband? I'm here. A shadow loomed over me, and a part of me felt like it was splitting apart. I started sobbing. Seb with that stupid smile, his head was bandaged, bruising, flowering under his eye. But he was okay. Seb greeted me with a soft kiss on the forehead. His lips was warm. Home. Hey, sweetheart, he whispered, pulling my weak body into a hug. I'd never been so close to him. He felt like a puzzle piece that slotted perfectly into mine. I swallowed my sobs and hugged him back, squeezing him to my chest. When we were discharged, we went home. Oh my god. It's the double words that start with the same letter, I'm telling you. Immediately, Seb was all over me, kissing my neck, his hand down my shirt. And I was touch-starved. And I was so touch-starved that I dragged him upstairs to bed. I was half asleep when he rolled over. His breath warm against mine. Do you know what cancer feels like, babe? I didn't respond, and he sighed. Like razors. Yes, and he said, Seb said, do you know what cancer feels like, babe? I didn't respond, and he sighed, like razor blades in my blood. You don't have cancer, I mumbled. I felt him move closer, pinning me to the bed. I don't anymore. My eyes snapped open as his lips ran down my spine in a giggle. Do you know what filthy cash can get you, Melody? He traced my back and escaped from cancer. His voice darkened, an escape from a broken body and a brand new one. Brain dead, yes, but that's why I'm here. That's what I'm here for. He hummed, wrapping his arms around me. Your husband's body is perfect, unbroken. I can walk. I can breathe. Seb rolled onto his back and laughed. I think I'm gonna keep him. How was that? I really liked it. It was like, what? I really liked it. Whenever I found this one. I liked it.
Didn't really feel like an ending.
I feel like it was like one of those endings where it was like, what do you do after that? It's just like there's a lot of questions of like what do you do in that situation? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good though. I liked it.
What I'm wondering is what happened is that her husband had to get like a brain transplant. Those exist apparently. And the thoughts of the other person, well, parts of brains, not full brains. I don't think that's a thing. But maybe that's what happened. And that the person that her husband got the brain from is talking, has control. And they had cancer. Oh, I don't think that's possible though. I don't know.
Yeah, no full brain transplant has been successfully performed.
YouTube.
They're trying.
YouTube.
I thought I could get a smarter brain. Anyway, what'd you think?
I liked it. It was good.
It was really good. I really liked that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, am I gonna go next or?
Yes. What is your next one?
This one is apparently a true story. The title is Minnesota Yurt Stay, Severed Deer Parts, Buried Potion Bottles, Eerie Sounds in the Woods.
Oh, that's something that you should investigate. Okay.
All right. Almost a year ago.
Who is it by?
Hold on. Let me read it. Roncom. Never. I can't read that name.
Here. Ron Cucumber Sum. r/True Scary Stories, I think, is what it says.
Yes.
Okay. It's really
Too
small.
Yes. I'm half blind at this point, so yeah.
Oh yeah, you're sorry, my bad.
Almost a year ago, December 2024, my partner and I decided to spend a weekend in a yurt in western central Minnesota, near Sandstone, for her birthday. We chose this location because a quote-unquote hot tub was included as an amenity. Little did we know, it was a clawfoot tub with a campfire beneath. We drove up from Chicago and made our usual small-town grocery run before descending on our spot. The road to the yurt was primitive, windy, and not easily located on a map, and remote. As soon as we arrived, we noticed a cabin where the owners usually stayed. They were out at the time. And a couple yurts. We were alone, and the air was cold and dry. We breathed in and out, relishing the solitude away from the noise of the city. At this time, a truck pulls up in the muddy roundabout, slows down, stops for a moment, and quickly pulls away. Not the owners. Since we arrived, we'd been hearing gunshots firing in the background and shrugged it off as hunters in the area. This was the Northwoods, after all. We made ourselves at home in the yurt, cracked a couple beers, and decided to explore. We walked towards the cabin and followed the trail to the nearby frozen lake. We noticed something hanging from the trees. As we approached, we found severed deer parts dangling in the air. Legs and torso with the body started cartilage, veins and all. We looked down and saw the deer head staring straight at us, tongue hanging from its mouth, sitting atop a wood shed, looking in the direction of our yurt. My partner, a vegetarian and animal lover, looked away horrified. We looked at each other, heard more gunshots, and made more sense of it. We texted the owners. It took them a while to respond. They assured us it was their backwoods neighbors. Every country home has them, I suppose. We felt assured, but nevertheless a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, because that's
isolated. Yeah. We were still the only folks on the whole property. We returned to the yurt, drank some whiskey, and warmed up and went to bed exhausted. The yurt had no lock, but folks were friendly up here, right? The next day, we woke up, felt refreshed, and ready to have a birthday hike around the property. We made breakfast and ran out of the stocked firewood, back to the old woodshed. As I walked, I saw the deer head in the distance, pointed in my direction, awaiting my inevitable return. I grabbed the wood, making an effort not to make eyes with the ill-fated animal, and quickly headed back. An interesting start to the day.
Yeah,
we
I'd say
milled.
so. Oh God.
Huh?
I'd say that's an interesting start.
We milled about for a bit and scrambled down a hillside to the edge of the frozen lake. I came upon a pile of old rusted tins, including a pop-top beer can, a Folgers coffee tin from the 1950s, and various little bottles of different colors. As a person who studied history, these were all archaeological findings for me. I spent the better part of the afternoon unearthing these things. I tossed them up to our site and we dusted them off and displayed them on our picnic table. We moved on and down the road to some open public lands. I brought the whiskey with me and we took turns swigging the bottle. We literally stumbled upon an old car door, what looked like from an old pre-60s white truck embedded in the ground. I asked my partner to take a photo of me with it, and at that point my phone died for the remainder of the weekend.
That's safe.
All of these findings from that afternoon started to appear strange, like someone quickly packed up and left the property for good over 60 years prior. I realized perhaps I was meddling with some bad juju and moved on. That feeling lasted on the walk back to camp. Our night proceeded as usual. The wind was picking up and cold was blowing hard. We made a hot fire that lasted until we fell fast asleep. I woke up freezing, the fire dead, the pot-belly stove needed to be filled and stoked back to life. But it wasn't the cold that woke me. It sounded like something was encircling us, moving in closer and closer.
Oh.
I woke up my partner and she asked, "Is there another guest looking for the yurt?" It had to be 3 or 4 in the morning. My phone was dead, so I didn't know. Along came more noises. It sounded like a 3-gallon bucket just rolling and rolling, whirring louder and louder. This made some sense since we had used a bucket to fill the hot tub earlier. But it was inconsistent and grew louder along with the footsteps. It made no sense because the clearing in the woods couldn't have been more than 15 feet wide by 30 feet long, and a bucket couldn't roll that freely. Unexplainable. We stuck a broomstick in the door handle to keep the door locked and keep our hatchet and kept our hatchet next to the bed. My eyes were wide for what felt like forever. I must have managed to fall asleep at some point because I woke up to daylight, but I never felt so relieved. I looked outside and there was a 3-gallon bucket sitting upright where we had left it. Nothing touched or moved from the night before. These were some of the creepiest woods I have encountered. There's something about that part of the country in the cold dead of winter that makes you feel a little alone and empty, but like someone or something is always watching. I left the archaeological findings behind, naturally.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Dang, that's creepy.
Yep.
If I personally, listen, I know I'm white, but if I see deer heads and parts just strung up like decoration, no thank you. No thank you. Deer heads, I get it. If they're like on a mantle, you know, professionally done. But if it's just a bloody deer head, no.
Yeah, no, this was, from what I understand, just like a bloody, like they just cut the head off and put it on top of the shed.
Oh, no. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
Yep. You should wait for the next one.
Oh, no. Take a sip of my sunny tea. Okay, so my last one is from r/stayawake Reddit. I love this Reddit page, by the way. And it is called, "I responded to a 911 call from a man pretending to be a little girl." Oh yeah. We're getting cop POVs right now. This is a long one, and if I stutter, don't make fun of me. Okay.
No promises.
Oh wow, thanks. Okay. Every cop sees something that they'll never forget. Something that will stick with them for the rest of their lives. What I am about to describe to you is that story for me. This is the most disturbing thing I have ever witnessed. When I turned 21, I joined the police force in a remote town that I won't name. The department needed a new officer, and I was young, and I was a young father who needed money, so the timing was perfect. Because I was a rookie, they assigned me to the night shift. I ran from 6 at night to 6 in the morning. The guys at the station sometimes teased me about my hours, saying that I always worked the crummiest shifts, but I actually didn't mind them. I always been a night owl. The guys even called me Nighthawk, and honestly, I kind of liked that. Also, the person that wrote this is Elliot Price. I forgot about that. Just saying that now. Besides busting people for speeding and pulling over the occasional drunk driver, I spent most nights sitting back listening to podcasts. In a weird way, it was kind of relaxing. After a year in the department, something happened one night that changed everything. A severe thunderstorm rolled into town and caused major power outages. Lots of downpour flooded most of major roads. To be in the best position possible when the accident reports came in, I parked my cruiser in a parking lot in the middle of town. At 2 a.m., our dispatcher, Claire, radioed in. She reported that someone who sounded like an adult male claimed to have been kidnapped. They told her they were held captive inside someone's home. Then the call ended. When when she redialed, the caller didn't answer. My cruiser had a built-in commuter. Hold on. Makes me read better.
Yeah.
Yes. My cruiser had a built-in computer display that showed all the call details. Based on the address, I was about 10 minutes away, so I was probably the closest officer. I radioed in and told her I'd respond. I also requested backup. Another new officer, named Chris, chimed in and said that he'd be in the location in 5. Claire clicked on her radio but hesitated for a few seconds over the static. Then she said that the caller sounded like they were altering their voice in some way, possibly through digital means, to make themselves sound like a child. She used a specific phrase, like a little girl. She concluded that officers should proceed with extreme caution. All of us were pretty close at the station, so we felt nervous for one another during high-risk cases like these. I radioed back, and I said 10-4, then drove off to the scene. When I turned into the neighborhood, I saw that every single street lamp was out. The entire block had lost power. That meant would have low visibility in the home we were investigating, which put us in greater danger. I followed my GPS to the end of the street where the house was and saw that Chris had already beaten me. His cruiser was idling in front of the house. I pulled up to him and rolled down my window. Chris commented on the home's poor condition. I glanced ahead, taking it in for myself. The grass was knee-high, overgrown, bushes blocked out the windows, and the roof was dented in several areas and had tons of missing shingles. It looked completely abandoned. This set off alarm bells in my head. You can gather a lot about someone's mental state by how they treat their living space. I told Chris I'd take the lead. We both stepped out of our cruisers into the pouring rain, opened our umbrellas, and followed a waterlogged path up to the door. Chris clicked on his flashlight whenever a second officer is like Chris
You two.
I'm beatboxing, dude. Whenever a second officer like Chris is present during an investigation, their entire job is to protect the leading officer by monitoring the suspect's body language. If the suspect makes a move on the cop that's interrogating them, they neutralize the threat. Chris made the perfect backup because he was both observant and calm under pressure. This allowed me to focus solely on the suspect's story and if I was hearing the truth. Which, W. Chris, dog.
Yeah. Stand up guy right there.
Yeah, dude. When we reached the door, I rang the doorbell. Then we stood there listening for movement inside. Rain poured against our backs. After a few seconds, footsteps shuffled to the door and then they paused. Whoever's on the other side stood completely still, just waiting. Creepy. A strange feeling came over me that we were being watched. Slowly, my gaze drifted over to the people. As soon as I made eye contact, a distorted shape moved back like whoever was watching us had pulled their head away. "If you're in there," I said, "we'd like to ask you a few questions. Open up, please." They froze again, as if they were thinking about what to do next. Then the lock started turning. The door creaked open, but only by a foot. From the darkness, a man peeked from the crack. He looked like he was in his early 30s. He was overweight, balding, and wore thick brimmed glasses. I took a single look into his eyes and sensed that he was hiding something. I informed him that we had received a call from his address of someone claiming to have been kidnapped. The man acted confused. He apologized and told us it must have been a pocket dial. Sorry guys, I was just making up this. I was just talking out loud about how, oh no, I'm kidnapped. Oh, save me. You know how you talk to yourself. Yeah, okay. I asked him if it was a pocket dial, then how could he explain the voice in the call? For a split second, the man averted his gaze, then said that he didn't know anything about a voice. I asked him if there was anyone else in the house, and he said he lived alone. Then I told him that for safety reasons, we need to have a look inside. Not without a warrant, he said. That's how you know that they're hiding something. If they're like, but you need a warrant, they're hiding something. Or they're just trying to be difficult. These days, a warrant can be obtained in minutes, which that is true. I went back into my cruiser, called dispatch and requested communication with the on-call magistrate. Nope. Yes, magistrate. Thank you. 5 minutes later, Claire came back on the radio and told me the judge approved a telephonic warrant and emailed it. We were cleared to enter. I showed the warrant to the man. He reluctantly pulled the door open and I could see that his hands were visibly shaking. I clicked on my own flashlight and stepped inside. A putrid smell immediately hit me. I scanned around to find the source in the hallway and saw a hallway straight ahead and a room directly to my right. I shined my flashlight into the room and saw what looked like a living room. It was absolutely disgusting. Piles of clothes stacked and stacks of dirty dishes were spread across the carpet. Cockroaches crawled all over them. A couch that looked like it was pulled off the side of the road and sat at an angle against the wall. This man obviously used this room as his living space. I'd never seen these sorts of living conditions in even drug cases before. When I turned to look back at the man, he shifted uncomfortably. I made a mental note to check paraphernalia once I'd confirmed the house was safe. Then I stepped toward the hallway. My foot struck something. I looked down in the beam of my flashlight. I saw a pink Barbie doll playhouse that I'd seen before. I thought about it and realized it's the exact same set I got my daughter for Christmas last year. I asked the man if he had kids. He said no, but explained to us that sometimes his nieces came over to keep a few toys around, and he kept a few toys around for them. Chris and I exchanged a look. No mother in their right mind would allow their children into this environment. I told him that this was his last chance to tell me if anyone else was in this house. He assured me there wasn't. I started down the hallway and the man followed, saying there was nothing down there. Chris yanked him back by his arm and ordered him to stay put. W. Chris.
Yeah.
The hallway had an open room on either side and a closed door at the end, which was probably the basement. I peeked inside the first room, scanning from right to left. I saw more children's toys, and even items like diapers scattered across the floor. In the corner, I saw a dark shape of a person was hunched over. I drew my weapon, only to realize that it was a dog. sagging its head down in a rocking chair. Hello, creepy dog. It's creepy. The shock of that visual made my heart pound. I leaned against the doorframe and steadied my breathing. Chris asked me what I'd seen. Before I could respond, I started studying the doll. It was the largest one I've ever seen. Every bit as big as a person. And the man had dressed it in women's clothing. On the bed beside it, ladies' blouses, jeans, and even lingerie were folded into neat piles. Each pile was separated by color. Meanwhile, the rest of the house was a pigsty. What was happening in this room felt so wrong in so many different levels. All clear, yeah. I told Chris. Yeah, that's... Like, if I saw that, I'd be like...
You too.
Because this guy do it. I moved further down the hall and glanced into the second bedroom. This one was empty. I reached the final door at the end of the hall, when from behind me the man called and asked if I'd like to see the upstairs instead. I told him yes, but I was going to see the basement first. The man said again that there was nothing down there. Why would we believe you? Especially after he just saw, he's like, I'm gonna check the basement. I heard Chris tell the man to stay still, which meant he was probably trying to follow me down the hall. The closer I moved moved into this part of the house, the more agitated he became. I reached for the handle, twisted the doorknob, and pushed the door open. It squealed on its hinges. A set of wooden steps descended into the pitch black room. I shined my light down. I could only see the area that surrounded the landing. It looked equally as messy as the upstairs. From deep inside the room, in an area I could see something rattled. I couldn't see, and something rattled. I told Chris that I heard movement. The man responded instead, apologizing to me and Chris over and over again. Even though it was the last thing I wanted to do, I had no choice. The man was lying to us. Someone was down there. I headed down the staircase, each step creaked under my weight. The rattling noise from inside the room grew louder. Behind me, the man repeatedly begged us to stop looking around. I neared the landing and swept my flashlight across stacks of boxes. No one appeared to be in the line of sight. Across the room, there was another door. The noise was coming from there. I drew my weapon and I commanded whoever was inside to slowly come out with their hands up. Whoever was inside stopped moving. I shouted the same command a second time. The door remained shut. I crossed the room, sliding between boxes and old furniture that blocked my way. My sights were trained on the door. When I stood within several feet, I paused, listening. Whoever was inside also remained perfectly still. My anxiety ticked up with each second. So many things could go wrong in this situation. I moved to the side of the doorframe in case that they were armed, and tried to fire through the door. I reached for anything. I reached for the knob, grabbed and twisted it. When I swung the door open, I was still hidden to the side of the frame. If anything besides empty hands emerged, I would have to use deadly force. After several agonizing moments, nothing came. I said a quick prayer and then aimed my weapon right into the room. What I saw, I couldn't go into detail. But basically, this is what happened. A man in his mid-40s was being held captive in that basement. He was a father of 3 and a respected member of the community. Months after he went missing, everyone, including his family, assumed he was dead. After 2 years in captivity, he finally got the chance to escape. Earlier in the night before we arrived, the homeowner brought the victim's dinner down and made the mistake of leaving his phone behind. The victim managed to activate Siri and call 911. When we arrived on scene, the victim had already been confined in a way that prevented him from calling upstairs or making any kind of substantial noise. Then, when I ordered him to come out, he froze in fear not because he couldn't obey my command, but because he didn't want me to use lethal force, thinking that he was a threat. Once I opened that door and found him, we arrested the home owner on the spot and took the victim to the hospital for immediate treatment. I felt incredibly lucky that no one was harmed, but that we could reunite this man with his family. But the most disturbing detail, which has haunted me every day since, is how my dispatcher described the voice of the man who made the call. Why was he speaking like a child? The only explanation that makes sense is that the man was forced to speak in that young tone of voice for a long time. That even when he called the station, that's the only way he could communicate. And if he was forced to do that, what else inside of that house was he forced to do?
Jesus.
Yeah, I felt that. I was like,
YouTube.
That's wild.
I don't know if this is like a true story or not.
It sounds like it.
It sounds like it, which if that is, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Elliot Price, r/stay awake, as my last one. That was a crazy one.
All right, this one, mine's a bit long as well. This one is not a true story.
Okay.
It is from r/horror stories, and it's from Static Voices YT. It's titled, "While renovating my house, I uncovered a crawl space. The journal inside had entries about me."
Oh, that's cool. Move out?
I've only been living here for a month. It's not much, but I got the place for a good price. Definitely a fixer-up. It's in a good, quiet neighborhood, so to me, it was a no-brainer. I'm pretty handy and know my way around a set of tools, so I figured I could do most of the physical work that needed to be done. Some carpet and drywall replacing was the first thing on my list. It's a fairly small house, so I knew I would be able to do most of it on my own. The first week was fine, ripped up the living room carpet and threw on a fresh coat of paint. The days were long, but the work was definitely paying off. I do most of the self-renovations when I got home from work, so by the time I finished each day, my bed was calling my name. Every night when I laid down to sleep, I would hear a light scratchy noise. It sounded like it was coming from inside the wall of my bedroom, which only meant one thing: I definitely had roommates. The house was old, and the people that lived here before me did a horrible job of keeping up the maintenance. Unfortunately, there wasn't much I could do. Funds were already tight as it is, and I couldn't afford an exterminator at the moment. First, I tried to ignore it and just told myself I would get to it when I could. The next few nights were very similar. Day job, renovation, sleep. After a momentous week of hard work, something strange happened. The light scratching I'd grown so used to hearing suddenly stopped. At first, I didn't notice, but that night, as I lay in bed, I realized the house was completely silent. I held my breath, waiting. Nothing. For the first time in weeks, I relaxed. Silence. Pure, beautiful silence. I was just drifting off to sleep when I heard it again. Not from my bedroom, though. From the guest bedroom across the hall. Just when I thought maybe I lucked out, I was brought back to the harsh reality that is owning a house. took off of work the next day to finish some more projects around the house. There were just a few more major things that had to be taken care of. After working most of the day, I grabbed myself a bite to eat and called my buddy Mike. I've been so damn busy with the house, it's been hard to keep up with social life. Mike was a handyman himself, so any questions I had regarding the house, I knew I could run by him. Dude, how's the house coming along? Mike asked. Honestly, looking better each day. It's just extremely time consuming. Oh, and by the way, is it normal to feel like I'm just bleeding money? Ah, yes. Welcome to the sweet world of home ownership, he said with a laugh. I'm so excited for that.
I'm so excited to experience that. Oh, God.
Hey, quick question. Have you ever dealt with mice around your house? I swear I'm hearing them in the walls. No, man. That's ghosts. You have ghosts.
That
yeah, well,
sounds like
maybe
me.
they can get rid of the mice. And that sounds like me.
It's ghost, dude. You're like, no. I closed my door weird.
Cool.
That's why it opened.
Cool, they can get rid of the mice for me though. We talked for a bit longer before he let me go. Let me get back to the last of my home improvement. The last project I had to tackle was the guest room. I had to rip the carpet up and take down some horrible wallpaper. I was just about to walk into the guest room when I noticed my bedroom door was cracked open. I know for sure that I closed it. It became a force of habit since I was a teenager. Whenever I left my room, I closed the door behind me. I thought maybe my exhaustion was catching up to me. I cannot wait to finish this damn house. The carpet came up with no problem. The wallpaper was a different story. That took me forever.
Wallpaper is
YouTube
to take off.
It is. The last of the wallpaper was in the closet. I was just about halfway through removing the wallpaper from the closet when I came across the crawl space. It had been completely covered. When I saw it, I admit I was taken by surprise. I used my phone flashlight to peer inside. That's when I saw it. The mice droppings. I knew it. I knew something was crawling around back there. I was relieved I wasn't going crazy. Just as I was about to close it back up, I noticed something in the far corner. Pillows and a blanket. Old and dusty. Remnants of the past, no doubt. There was something else though. A book. Some sort of journal. It was covered with dust and the pages were withered. This thing had been in here for a while. I read the first entry. Entry 1. I'm always alone. Nobody ever sees how I'm doing. I love them. Why don't they notice me? I flipped through a few more entries, each written in the same messy handwriting. Entry 3. Sometimes I hear them moving around upstairs. I wish I could be there with them. I miss being part of things. Entry 5. I saw them leave this morning. The house gets so quiet when they're gone. Entry 6. I like this little hideout. It's like I can escape reality, leave all my troubles on the other side of this wall. Couldn't tell if the person was lonely, delusional, or just writing some kind of creepy story. The entries are strange, but not outright threatening. Still, something about the line, the house gets so quiet when they're gone. Strange. I set the journal down and grabbed my phone. Yo, Mike answered. Don't tell me you found the ghost. Not quite, but get this, I said, holding back a laugh. I was ripping down wallpaper in the guest closet, right? Found a little crawl space, mice droppings, nasty as hell, but also this old journal. Journal? Yeah, listen to this. The house gets so quiet when they're gone, I said in my best spooky narrator voice. Mike cracked up. Or what kind of psycho used to live there? Who knows? I probably just uncovered the tragic backstory of some weirdo shut-in. Maybe they got locked in and never made it out. Better stop reading that thing out loud at night. That's how the horror movies start. Please, The only thing haunting me right now is the cost of drywall. We both laughed for a while before hanging up. But even after I put the phone down, I caught myself glancing at the open crawl space again. The journal was still sitting there in the beam of my flashlight, half open, like it was waiting for me to read the next page. The house was finally finished. Well, it was finished enough for me. I needed to relieve some stress, and I figured there was no better way than to have a little housewarming party. I invited a few friends just for some food, drinks, and laughs. While waiting for the food to be delivered, Mike had the best idea. Go ahead and get that journal, man. Read us some bedtime stories, he said over the laughter. There were some confused looks from my other friends, not knowing what he was referring to. Yeah, he found it in an old crawl space. Thing looks prehistoric. After some sarcastic cheering and egging on, I decided to appease the crowd.
So invested.
I cleared my throat. I cleared my throat and flipped to a random page. Entry 47. I've been here for a while now. I like what they've done to my place. Feels like home again. Amazing work. Keep going, someone said in a patronizing tone. I continued further.
That's me.
Entry 62. They're finally leaving. I did my part to make sure they knew it was time to go. Got it all to myself. All right. One more for the night, I said. I turned toward the end of the journal. Entry 89. He's changing everything. This is my house. Patching holes and ripping up carpet. These are my memories he is painting over. He leaves a lot. It gives me a lot of time to plan. He needs to know this house belongs to me. This was unsettling. This felt wrong. Felt a lump in my throat. I glanced over at Mike just as I finished the last words. He was sitting there with his goofy smile. Aha, very funny, you asshole, trying to spook me. He must have snuck a personal entry in there when he was helping me set up for the party. This guy was never serious. I kind of left it off and continued on with the night. The food was great, the drinks were even better. My last few friends there said goodbye, and it was time for me to get some much needed sleep. After cleaning up a bit, I crawled into bed. It didn't take long for me to fall asleep. I thought I was dreaming when I heard it. A knock. I wasn't sure if it was coming from the walls, then I heard it again. A door? I knew it was a door. My door? I got up to check what the hell was going on. And then again I heard it. That was not from my door. The guest room. It was coming from the guest room. I opened my bedroom door and stepped into the hallway. I swung the guest door open. I stood still, trying to hear something. The house was quiet. I could only hear my own heavy breathing. Another knock. It was coming from the closet. Did I leave the crawl space door open? Did I leave a window open? Was a draft coming through? All thoughts that ran through my head in the half a second since I heard the knocking. I took another step forward, the floorboards groaning under my feet. The closet door stood slightly open, and I could see the edge of that crawl space panel inside. I reached out a hand to push the door fully open, feeling a little ridiculous as I whispered, "Hello?" into the dark. In the same heartbeat, the door exploded open. A figure burst out of the closet, a shadow lunging at me with the flash of steel in their hand. Before I could even shout, a knife slashed through the air, grazing my and sending a jolt of pain through me. Adrenaline took over. I stumbled back, trying to put distance between us, but the attacker was on me in a heartbeat. I barely registered the pain as I twisted away and bolted for the window. My only thought was escape. I jumped and hurled myself through it, crashing onto the ground outside. Pain shot up my leg as I landed hard, but I didn't stop. I limped as fast as I could toward the neighbor's house, my heart pounding louder than ever. That's where I called the cops. Breathless, bleeding, and finally forced to admit that something far worse than mice had been living in my walls. In the end, the police found the crawl space exactly as I'd left it, except for the journal lying open to that final entry. There was no sign of the attacker and no explanation of how they had been living there unnoticed. But I knew what I'd seen. The journal's final words were burnt into my mind. This house will always be mine. I moved out the next week. Whatever haunted that house, whoever had claimed it as their own, I wasn't sticking around to find out what happened next.
Oh. Oh my god. Bro, that was intense.
Yeah.
Man. I liked that a lot. I liked that a bunch. That was spooky.
Both of mine are like 2 and 3 days old, so they're pretty new.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I really liked that. That was really fun. I enjoyed those. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Having fun over there?
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got really hungry whenever you were reading your first one.
Uh-huh.
And I've been eating this like
YouTube.
corn while you were reading. I was like, oh, holy
YouTube.
Yeah, I really liked yours. You picked really good ones. I feel like mine were really lackluster.
Nah, yours were good.
They were good. I really liked the cop one. And if that's a true story, that's
YouTube.
I
that's
might
messed
do a little something special on my channel here soon.
up.
That's a little
Oh,
something special.
oh, you wanna?
You know what the special thing is. We have talked about it today.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be fun. I would do it.
Yeah.
You
So.
should totally do that. Yeah, guys, go subscribe to my friend, Zach Games. I'll have him in the description as well as the title. You just click his little name and subscribe to him. He's pretty cool. He played Batman Telltale series.
Yep.
Pretty hype. Yep.
Playing Dispatch now.
Playing Dispatch, guys. The funny game with the superheroes. I played on
I was held
playing that for a
hostage
stream.
this whole time.
No, you haven't. Shut up. You're not leaving. Okay, guys. Okay, like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications for my next video. You should just shut up. You're